I'm Alan Gerding, and this is Too Many Games in a Room, a show where I try to get rid of my extensive board game collection to help charity and myself. In today's episode, we're looking at my Shelf of Shame. It's a three-parter, so this is only part 1 of 3. Why? Because I've got so many games in my Shelf of Shame.
Shame.
So what is a Shelf of Shame? Well, they are the games in your game collection you have yet to play. Most people call it a Shelf of Shame, but despite the name, it isn't anything anyone should be embarrassed of. In fact, some people don't call it a Shelf of Shame, they call it a Shelf of Opportunity. And let me tell you, I have a lot of games still in their shrink wrap. Shrink wrap is a shiny, glare-inducing dead giveaway that a game has yet to be played. So today, we begin the journey to decide if I'm gonna open these games or if I'm just gonna sell them for charity. Here is the problem. I have so many unopened games. I was faced with the challenge of figuring out how to best find and go through these shrink wrap games. My solution? I decided to Tom Sawyer this bitch. I convinced my friends to gather the games for me. Here, you see me explaining the rules to what I called the Shelf of Shame Scavenger Hunt to 3 of my favorite people. I used my flimsy credits as a game designer to convince Lindsey Rode, Isaac Vega, and my wife Crystal to compete to see who could find the most games still in their shrink wrap. The rules were simple. They each had designated table or couch space onto which they placed the unopened games they could find. They can only grab one game at a time. They also had to put a sticky note of their color onto the game. This is a type of flag claiming the game as their own. I declare this game in the name of Isaac. Once they could not find any more unopened games, the player who found the most games would be crowned the winner. As a secondary competition, the player who had the most valuable pile of games would also win some sort of prize yet to be determined. Watch them work. Watch them gather my games for me. Pile them up. Fools! I mean friends! And with that, the competition came to a close. So I asked my 3 competitors to gather around and offer any closing thoughts they may have. So I'm gonna switch it to real time, and we're gonna use the actual camera's audio so you can hear the responses to the Scavenger Hunt of the Shelf of Shame. What did they all think?
It was good. I think I got a lot.
I think I am in an episode of Nathan For You, and I was tricked into his workout scam.
I grabbed a lot of the small games, so I think I'm going to be the unsuspected winner of most games.
I feel like I was really hustling, and I put a lot of time and effort into my stacking and my searching, and I really don't know how it's going to turn out.
I think you got the most expensive pile.
How did the 20 minutes go? Was it
I
pretty
got
fast?
the biggest
That was
pile.
a fast 20 minutes.
It's the fattest.
We can't even see your pile because Lindsay's pile is covering it up, so we're gonna have to check it
The
out.
first 5 minutes went fast, and
She
then I
had
was
to,
kind
she
of
had
ready.
to go tall because I went so wide.
What about responses to the
True,
games?
save it.
Responses to the games. Were there any games you're like, how have you not opened this?
Yeah,
Yes.
the ones that we made.
How dare you?
never know.
Time out. Yes, if you don't already know this, Isaac Vega and Lindsey Rode are both game designers themselves. Isaac Vega is famous for making Dead of Winter with Jonathan Gilmour and many other games. Lindsey Rode designed Labyrinthos and Countdown Action Edition. And now the two of them have joined forces to create Rose Gauntlet Entertainment. In fact, they just had their first Kickstarter for their first game, Keystone North America. You should check it out, because I love these two people. They're very talented, and everything they do, I'm sure, is going to be gold. You should also check out TuesdayNightGames.com for all of our stuff. Buy our shit! It's time to look at the results of the Shelf of Shame Scavenger Hunt. But first, I want to look at my shelves. You can see there's a lot of devastation. It's really apparent that a game is missing when the gap causes a little bit of a gaming avalanche. Ideally, there isn't much of a difference between your Shelf of Shame and your regular game shelf, but for me, I'd say there's a good quarter of the games that are missing. Maybe it's only a sixth. But let's look at Isaac's collection. Isaac had the yellow post-it notes, and it's very sizable, but definitely not neatly stacked. In fact, it's almost looking like a Jenga game that's about to collapse. Lindsey did a better job stacking her games. She had the blue post-it notes. But with Lindsey, it's hard to see all of the games that she actually has in her stack, because as Isaac mentioned, it is stacked tall, but also it's layered. There's actually some games in the middle there that you can't see from just looking around it. But then you look at Crystal's stack. She had a couch, and hers is very neatly stacked, and there's very few games. In fact, no, I think you can see all of the games right there without having to dig. There may be some stacked behind that first pile closest to us, but she has probably the neatest stack. So if there was a neat stack award, I'd probably give it to Crystal. But the question is, who has the most games and who has the most valuable pile of games? Well, for that, we're going to have to break it up into 3 parts, and I hope you can appreciate why. Because there's so many freaking games here. There's no way we would have time to cover every single one of these games with swiping left to donate to charity or swiping right. We're going to open this thing up and keep it. So I figured for this episode, what we'd do is we would just stick to Isaac's pile right here. So this first episode is just going to be Isaac Vega's Shelf of Shame Scavenger Hunt results. Let's get into it. We're here. I'm with Crystal, and these are the hands that will be displaying the Shelf of Shame games today. I was told by a friend, Jennifer Abley, I'll even send the name, she said, anyone who uses their hands on camera should get a pedicure and really take care of their hands since we have to look at it so much. But I realized I was wearing gloves last time and that was more distracting. Plus, I think I take care of my nails, except this just happened right here over the weekend. I got these little wounds on my hands from jet skiing. They're war wounds, so hopefully they don't gross people out. Let's begin it. We're going to start with Isaac's pile, and I have my assistant, Crystal. Say hi, Crystal.
Hi.
She's giving these little games. This is pack of games. We talked about these last time, and I'm definitely keeping these because I'm going to open them. Why not? They're super small. They'd probably sell better as a pack, but you know, if just one of these is a diamond in the rough, like Aladdin, that'd be great. And we're going to swipe right. One for Isaac. And here is Witch Slap. Witch Slap is from a company called Prolific Games. The creators just retired from Prolific Games. They're a couple of really nice guys. Witch Slap is a game that is spoons with abilities. So if you like the game Spoons, where you go around really quickly and then eventually have to slap and grab the cards, Witch Slap is like that, but you cast spells based upon the components you get. I have a demo copy of this already. It was one of the prototypes. They wanted me to go ahead and try it out. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to swipe left, because someone will really enjoy this. I'm not a huge Spoons fan, so swipe left so another family can enjoy this, and then maybe we can get some scratch for charity. Yay! That's not out of the shot. Next is Don't Get Got, the Shut Up and Sit Down edition. Don't Get Got is a crazy party game. I don't know if this is a standalone set. I think it is. I think this is standalone. This is part of Isaac's pile. Then here is the actual game. This one's already open, but this is one of these meta party games where you play it at the beginning of your party night, and then you have these objectives, like get someone to say underwear or something like that. If they say it, you get them. and once you get so many missions, you win. I haven't done it yet, but you know what? I do so many conventions. I think I'm definitely going to keep these and see if I can do them during a convention. Is that something you think you'd like to play sometime, Crystal?
I'm wondering if I have played it before.
Did you like it?
I remember laughing about it, so there was at least one good laugh I got.
Okay, well there you have it. So don't get got. Swipe right. Next up in Isaac's pile, Orleans, I believe it's pronounced. It's a French game. Man, this one's heavy. This one is the closest game to a game that I designed, Hats and Heroes. It's worker placement, and based upon where you place the workers, different actions happen. It's a really good game. But then I look at this time frame, and it says 90 minutes. It's also a very valuable game. I don't think you can get this cheaper for $60. I'm not sure. I need you to tell me if I'm right in these prices or not. But Orleans, because of that 90-minute mark, it's a little bit too steep for me. And it's physically a heavy game, too. There's a lot of good components in there. I don't think this is the deluxe edition. They have a deluxe edition where instead of punch-out tokens, it has like metal tokens and things that you can really enjoy. So Orleans, a really good game, but I don't think I have room for it in my library. Swipe left. Huh! And that 90 minutes, by the way, is a minimum. Capital Offense. I don't remember getting this game. It was definitely a free giveaway game. Maybe the creator gave it to me to try it out. I have no idea what it's like. But look at this USB price it has on it. $54.99. I'm not sure I'd spend $55 on this. I don't know what's in there. I've never met anyone who's played it. I really should read BGG to see if it's any good, but it says 30 to 60 minutes. So there's quite a disparity in the amount of time it takes. I don't know. I'm weary of it. I'm gonna go ahead and say swipe left. Because one of the things we have to keep in mind is that if it's not out of the shrink wrap, there's probably a reason we haven't opened it yet. And if we haven't opened it yet, that's good evidence that it may never be opened. Capital Offensive, a tactical game of violence as a first resort. Swipe left! Hoo! Therapy, the game. This one was a gift from my mom. Cause you're a psychologist and it's about psychology. We talked about this in the old school games episode. But it has these really dated questions. Is it worth opening?
I'm super curious to know what questions are in there.
Well, they give some samples in the back, Crystal, so I'll ask you one. Let's see if I can find a good question here. Which player do you think would be most likely to sneak into a movie without paying? Oh, so there's a little bit of true colors there. There's different categories. Childhood. Who is more likely to have an imaginary friend, a little girl or a little boy? So it's a little trivia question based upon some research. And that research is from 1932? Is that what I'm reading? Yeah, that research is from 1932. I just read in here. It's hard to see with the glare and whatnot. Hard to get in front of the camera enough. This is as close as I can get it to the camera. Oh, I'm struggling. 1932 is the citation right there for that question. So it's really dated. So I think this one is more for like a collector and probably worth money. Is it so sentimental to me because my mom got it for me? It does have this little damage right here. If we did play it, it would just be to see what's inside of it. But maybe there's someone out there that would really love this even more. I mean, it's sad to give it away because of Mom. It's just going to be collecting dust, and it'll be a conversation piece.
I wouldn't mind playing it just once, but then it's unwrapped, and then it's harder to give away, right?
Then it's harder to give away. Yeah, it's harder to sell. The value goes... It's kind of like a car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, the value depreciates. Same thing with these games. As soon as you open it, it's already taken a hit for this little mark right there, though.
So maybe it wouldn't matter if it was open once?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much this is worth. But I think we would have played it by now.
I didn't know about it.
Oh, man. I'm torn. We can't spend this much time. We got hundreds of games left to go. Gun to the head. Oh! What you're about to grab? You want to swipe right? Oh, okay. Crystal swiped right for us. There you go. So Pictionary. Pictionary, the dice game. Apparently I bought this for $2. I don't think we'll be playing it. There's always telestrations, and it has to be pretty good to beat telestrations in other games. Swipe left. Oh, man. City Hall. by Michael R. Keller. Oh my goodness, from TMG Games, Tasty Mitchell Games. Tasty Mitchell Games has a little place in my heart because they donated a whole bunch of games to give away at our engagement party. So when people showed up to our engagement party, we were able to give them games from Tasty Mitchell Games and Minion Games, and there were a couple other donations. But I gotta tell you, right away I look at this and I think, nope, nope. Oh, man, there's a little tear in here. Uh-oh, hopefully it doesn't depreciate the value. But it says 90 minutes already. It's past that 45-minute mark, and as soon as you get past 30 minutes, I'm starting to think of better games that we could have played in that amount of time. 45 minutes, we could have played 2 20-minute games. We could have done a whole game of monikers. So it has to be really good. This is not my style of game, I can tell. It's heavy, not physically, but like philosophy heavy. It's just a Euro game from the looks of it. I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong. Let me know in the comments. Glenn's Gallery. This is a game that was given to me free at BGG-Con. It's from Reiner Knizia, the designer that's made more games than anyone else, I think. What is this game about? Don't know. Don't care. It's hideous. Blah. Dilluvia Project, a TMG game. This one is heavy. There is a lot in here. There must be a lot of punch-out tokens. I'm looking at the playtime, 120 minutes. That's pretty much a guaranteed swipe left, unless I've heard amazing things about it. Here's another one I backed from Kickstarter. This is Isaac's pile, so Isaac is really starting to edge out in the money because this is expensive. Project Elite is kind of one of those dungeon diving, dungeon crawler games, but outer space. It comes with all of these minions right here. Look at these minis.
Ooh,
minions.
Dungeon diver minions.
Yeah, Crystal's a big fan of Warhammer Quest and Hero Quest. It looks kind of heavy, and I even went all in on the Kickstarter, spending stupid amount of money, because my philosophy is, if you're gonna crap your pants, what's a fart? So I also got this little expansion that comes with even more minis. So it's a whole bunch of minis. But would we play it? I don't know. I don't think so. We'd probably more be likely to play Zombicide or something. It could go to a very happy home. Swipe left unless you're going to intervene, Crystal. Deception, Undercover Allies. Why, this is nothing more than the expansion for Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, one of our favorite games. Deception Murder in Hong Kong, I think, is really elegant. We do a little homebrew that we call Deception Mysterium in Hong Kong, and we haven't even had the chance to play the expansion. But we love this game so much, I'm telling you right now, Deception Murder in Hong Kong is a big swipe right for us. So why not get the expansion? Because I believe these components can fit in this box here. So eventually we can just kind of toss this box if you want to. So let's keep these together. Swipe right. I'm excited to try it. After seeing this, I'm like, woo, let's play some Deception. We're still in the Isaac pile, and now we have Paul Zaxberg's Coven the Village. But this is an expansion for Coven. So what's Coven? Coven is this game, Paul Saxberg Coven. It's from 8th Summit Games. Jason Maxwell owns 8th Summit Games. And he's been taking a hiatus for a while now. I don't know what he's doing in the business. This has really intriguing components, and we have yet to play it. I opened it because I was really excited. I've done a whole bunch of Kickstarter videos for 8th Summit Games. That's kind of my personal connection. It has this cool, almost Ouija board that you assemble inside, and it does have like a hidden role. But the big thing about 8th Summit Games is they want all of their games to have a huge narrative to them. But again, I've owned this for years, and it takes 1 hour to play. I feel like we would have played it by now. And I almost feel like this is a collector item because I'm not sure if you can even get this anymore, because 8th Summit is, from my understanding, maybe I'm wrong, let me know in the comments.
I usually like witch-themed stuff, but I'm thinking my style is more like Salem, New England. So I don't know. It looks really pretty though, and almost, is it educational in a sense if you don't know a lot about...
I doubt it's educational, but let's see. Coven is an award-winning game. Where's the asterisk? There's an asterisk there. What's the award? Could just be like award-winning grandma's favorite game. Check out grandma's website that she made on her own. You know, you got to check those. And I don't see where winner of Canadian Game Design of the Year award is presented by Falcon Gaming Society. Ooh. Maybe this is something that we try later on to see if we like it or not. It does make me nervous that it has an expansion, because sometimes there's this booby trap that happens with games where they're good enough on their own, but they try to milk it for more money or prolong the interest, and to keep the interest going on, they tack on expansions which actually just muddy the waters instead of making it better. So I don't know. What do you think, Crystal? Do you think we'd play this? Is this something you'd want to play? It takes 1 hour at least to play the game.
It seems really cool, but I don't know that we would play it.
Man, alright, for the sake of brevity, let's swipe left then. Sorry, Jason! The Walking Dead board game, based on the hit TV series. This one is in its shrink wrap. It was given to me as a Christmas gift twice. I got it before from my family. It was my mom. She bought me The Walking Dead and was like, "Oh, you like zombies? It's a Walking Dead board game. You love it." Welcome to one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Hey, but you know what? You can buy it on eBay because we're swiping left hard. And in fact, while I'm doing that, get the open version and throw that swipe left as well. Because, oh my goodness, look at this mess here. Yeah, this game, real boring. I just remember playing it and thinking, why? Why? Who designed this? A middle schooler? It's awful. Sorry, whoever designed it. Maybe not. Cryptozoic published it. What were they thinking? By the way, The Walking Dead only counts as one game for Isaac's pile. He doesn't get a double whammy for that. Haunted Ruins! It was in a red dot sale at Barnes & Noble, I think. I got it for way cheaper than $29.95, as it says right there. But this is a pop-up 3D game, and they had a few of them, and I bought them, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it to my niece and nephew when they get older, and I don't think they ever played it, so now they're much older than 6. If I kept it, it would be just to give it as a gift to my niece. It looks cool, but I'm pretty sure it's as basic as they come. And it includes a collector's edition comic instruction book. It's a beautiful game. I've never seen it anywhere else. I'm sure it's crap. Swiping left. Speaking of 8th Summit games, here's another one. Expedition Famous Explorers. This one gives me Arabian Nights vibe, which is one of my favorite games. But then I look at the back, I don't see a map, I don't really see tokens. Not really a great back to a game for those of you designing board game backs, because when you look at the back of a box, you should be able to get an idea of what the game plays like. Because if you're a retailer and someone says, "Tell me about this game," you want to be able to take it off the shelf and say, well, you see this card, people sit here, you get these player tokens. It's almost like a picture that should help you explain the game. But here it's just cards splayed out. I have no idea what these arrow things are. I'm looking at the playtime, 60 to 90 minutes. I don't know. And if I read the description, Expedition Famous Explorers is an updated version of award-winning Wolfgang Kramer's Games Wildlife Adventure. I haven't heard enough about it. I'm swiping left. Labyrinthos. Lindsey gave me a little bit of shit about this because it's designed by Lindsey Rode, but you'll notice it's no longer in the shrink wrap. This was in Isaac's pile, ironically, so Isaac gets the point for this one. But why did I open it? Because hell yeah, I'm going to keep it, but also I had Lindsey sign it, so now I have her signature. Her soul is mine. Swipe right, definitely keeping this one. Alright, this was in Isaac's pile. This is more of these pack-a games. Bubble gum, chewing gum. What would you call this pack size? I call it just gum boxes.
You could fit 3 cigarettes in there.
3, well, I'm glad I asked. Those are some small cigarettes. Thank you for your answer, Crystal. Very enlightening. Yeah, we'll keep them, but here's the question. Does this count as 2 separate games for Isaac? And the one that was shrink wrapped before, does that count as 1 game each? I think it's a way to cheat the system because remember there's 2 awards. There's quantity and then there's quality. The quantity award is for whoever gets the most games and the quality award is whoever has the most valuable pile of games. So I'll say yeah, Isaac gets 2 points for Gem and TKO and swipe right.
I mean when you're eating nachos, like if you pick up a nacho and it's attached to 5 other nachos, it's one nacho.
So you're arguing it, everything I just said you're disagreeing with.
You said you would count it for 2, didn't you?
Yeah, and you're saying a nacho should count as 1.
They're not connected.
Oh, so the other one you're saying should count as one. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so since they're separated and they're not stuck together like nachos, 1, 2. But the other one that was the pack of games, that one is 1 victory. Okay, cool. I'm not sure how happy Isaac will be about that, but you got it, Crystal. Still swipe right.
Hey! What are you doing?
Dude, if you get the nachos stuck together, that's 1 nacho.
We didn't playtest this game either. A sequel to We Didn't Playtest This Game. Now, this is a whole series of games that's based upon the game called Blank White Cards. Blank White Cards is the idea that you just get a whole bunch of blank white cards, and then people start writing things on them and playing them, so you're kind of improvising a game. So people at Asmati Games did their own version and then published it, which is crazy, because there's some games that you'll play if we didn't playtest this game that you never even get a turn. The game ends before you even get to play a card. It's a big swipe left for me because we already have our own blank white cards. I'd probably rather play blank white cards than ones that were already made for us. Fantasy Frontier by Gamelin Games. This is the company that makes the Tiny Epic games like Tiny Epic Kingdom, Tiny Epic Defenders, etc. Really big meeples. They usually don't steer us wrong, but I would have played it by now. There's something about it. I don't think it's very pretty. Swipe left. Oh! The Lord of the Rings trading card game. Look at this tuck box. My goodness. And it's a trading card game, not a living card game. This is old school. Any of you guys have more trading cards? Because if you have this too, we can start trading and make the ultimate pack. But if no one else has it, you really don't have anyone to trade with, so swipe left. My dog's snoring in the background, so if you can hear it, awesome. If you don't worry. We'll find out after the fact. Wind Up War, a Kickstarter. I'm not sure why I backed this. I think it's because it looked really cute. And I also like supporting new designers in the industry. And realistically, I was addicted to Kickstarter. A game of cataclysmic toy combat by Katie Cow and Jess Chu. I think we would have played it by now. I do like the box. Crystal, any thoughts?
The box does look cool. I don't know much else about it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, so we're going to swipe left. Another TMG game. Bomb Squad Academy. Oh my. This is a card game, obviously. Get some tokens, punch out. Never played it. Obviously, I haven't played most of these since they're still in the shrink wrap. Would I get it? I think games with bombs in them are stupid. So, swipe left. Alright. Battle Merchants by Gil Hova. Gil is a friend of mine. You know who else is a really good friend of mine? I mentioned this before. James Matthey, who's the owner of Minion Games. And James Matthey passed away. It was a big loss in the gaming industry. So anytime I see Minion Games, there's a lot of sentimentality to it, no matter how good or bad the game is, because James was such a good man in the industry. His hello to me was, "Hey, shithead." And Crystal, you even got to meet James.
Yep.
Got to see the camaraderie between us. And this is Gil. Gil's an amazing designer. He has his own game company, and he's published some great games like The Networks. Here's the other thing. I backed, and we haven't even opened this yet, but when we open this, Crystal, you'll find that there's a card dedicated to you in this. And that was one of my favorite things. If they had a pledge level where you could be like, hey, design your own card, name your own card, I was all in. And so what did I do? I went ahead, and I don't even remember what it is, but I know that there's a card in here that refers to the Gerding somewhere. So we're going to have to keep this.
Aw, yeah.
Guns and Steel. Sounds like Buns of Steel. I kind of like the wordplay with it. It's a tasty minstrel game. This is still an Isaac pile, so we're still working through Isaac. No idea what it's about. Theme isn't really tickling me too much in a favorable sense. I think I'm just gonna swipe left. I think if it was really good, I would have heard something by now. And I know that's weird, and a weird way to judge these things, but I gotta go by something. And the fact that it's still in its shrink wrap, again, is a telltale sign that I probably should swipe left. Most of these shrink wrap games, swipe left. Vineta is a really good game. It's really good. I've played it plenty of times, and that's why I bought it. This is one I didn't kickstart. I bought. Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice. It has a number 5 on the side here, which really tries to lure in the collector. So it's like, man, I got 5. Now I need to buy 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you know what? Even though it's a really good game, and I enjoyed playing it, apparently its playability wasn't so great that we've played it ever again. It is another worker placement game, if I remember, that's card driven. Did I play this with you? Do you remember playing this?
I don't think I have played it. It looks cool.
It is cool because I remember based upon, I think, the player count, the size of the board changes, or maybe as you're playing, the board actually gets smaller and smaller. Because if you look, it's not one solid board. It comes in pieces. So it's modular in a way. And maybe like some of the islands start sinking. I don't remember. It was fun, but swipe left. We only have so much room on our shelf. And if I liked it so much, we would have played it by now. Oh! Now we're cooking with gasoline. Knockout! This was in our old school game episode. You can tell because it's by Milton Bradley, ages 7 and up. I didn't spend $25 on it at half-price books. I think I got it in a bargain bin for cheaper than that. But here's the thing about Knockout. Oh, look at this. It's shrink-wrapped, but it's shrink-wrapped with the box cover put in wrong. So, wow. Can't even change that. But this is basically battery-operated jackhammer, and when it really comes down to it, sure, there's some nostalgia to this, and it's pretty, but Jenga's better. Jenga's just better. That's all it comes down to. It's like a Jenga game for kids. Swipe left. So as a game designer, every once in a while, you go to the website, thegamecrafter.com. And the gamecrafter.com is a great resource for getting a single copy of a game manufactured. And plus, then on the Game Crafter, you can put it up for sale so other people can buy it. This is one of these games, Lite Romance. This isn't even on Board Game Geek. It's not even listed. Just some person had this game published, and the thing is, this was accidentally sent to me. I had a game that I designed that I wanted manufactured by thegamecrafter.com. It got sent to me, and I was like, this isn't what I bought. So that means that the person who made this and wanted to buy it or have it made to play, they probably ended up with my game. And they're looking at this game like, we made a game we could have sex to? Now we're having sex with a 2 rooms and a boom prototype? What the heck? So this is a version of the original game Red Lite Romance, a light version. So, Red Lite Romance instead of Red Light. So the only difference is the spelling. Interesting. Obviously, this is a swipe left, unless you're really randy.
I mean, I like a good pun, but no, I don't think we need it.
Yeah, I don't think we need it either. Very happy. Thank you. But Game Crafter, way to kill it. Hot Rod Creeps! It's a customizable racing game. Look at the art style. It has that Garbage Pail Kid, hyper detailed, Battle Wizards at Mount Armageddon, or whatever the hell that game's called, type of art style. You build a racetrack, you move around. Easy to learn, 2 to 6 players. Why haven't we opened this? I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry. Cryptozoic. Sometimes you got some good ones, but Cryptozoic really is this publishing machine where they grab licenses. And so when I see Cryptozoic, I hate to admit this, sorry Cryptozoic, but I'm a little skeptical. Don't get me wrong, I've had plenty of good Cryptozoic games, but there's been a lot of turds in that toilet bowl as well, where they're just trying to publish something to promote a license. There isn't a license of Hot Rod Creeps that I know of. Yeah, swipe left. Crystal's already indicating that I should swipe left to it. She's not interested. The Flow of History from Tasty Minstrel Games. I already said I have a soft spot in my heart for Tasty Minstrel Games and the owner, Michael Mendes. But Flow of History looks like a card game. It's a 60 to 90 minute card game for 3 to 5 players. But I love the graphic design on this. When I look at it, I just kind of want to open it. It kind of has this Glory to Rome feel with the flat art minimalism with really elegant icons. So when I see this game, I want to open it and play it. But I haven't heard anything about it. So
I also love the art and the theme so far, knowing nothing else about it.
Yeah, I think this is one of these things where I think we're just going to swipe right, and then maybe if we hate it or it takes too long to learn, then we can still get rid of it. We don't have to get rid of all these games at once. This may be an ongoing thing. So let's swipe right for this one. Yeah, let's do it. Marry Blank Kill. You know that classic game where you decide if you're going to marry someone, murder someone, or have passionate sex with them? Yeah, this is basically that game simplified into a card game. But you know what? We have Spank the Yeti, which is another game that is exactly this, but a little bit more creative. We're gonna swipe left on this one. You okay with that, Crystal? You look kind of bummed.
No, I didn't know that needed to be simplified. I just play that in line at the amusement park.
Exactly. Do you need a card game to help you do this? Maybe. But I think Spank the Yeti is gonna beat this. Spank the Yeti, the exact same thing, except instead of like Blank, Marry, Kill, which all of these cards I believe are, sometimes in Spank the Yeti, roommate, murder, hot tub with every night for a year. And then it has different options there. So instead of just like these 3 options, it's a whole bunch of different ones. If I remember correctly, my memory could be wrong. If you want to correct anything that I'm saying or you strongly disagree, comment on the video. Swipe left. Man, it's heavy. This is New Salem, and it has the Constable expansion to it. This is from Overworld Games, which is now Pull the Pin Games. One of my favorite companies because super nice owners. In fact, the owner has had a booth next to us at conventions. The reason that this is in shrink wrap is because I haven't had a chance to play it with the expansion. I had New Salem, and I gave it away knowing I was getting this because New Salem is one of my favorite card drafting games because it's a card drafting game with a Hidden Betrayer. So Crystal's not a huge fan of Hidden Betrayer games, but I love the balance mechanism in this as well. There's evil points and there's good points, and you have to make sure that you win with a proper balance. I'm not doing it justice. It's a swipe right. Check it out. Oh, here was a lot of money spent. Aeons End, how would you pronounce that, Crystal?
Aeon?
Aeons End Legacy. This is a cooperative deck building game, Crystal. But more than that, it's a legacy game. And you know what legacy means?
I do.
Well, what's legacy? Come on.
You just keep playing it for a long time with the same people, the same campaign.
Well said. Campaign is the word that the buzzword you said. Campaign is great. You just go on and you throw cards away, etc. This is from Indie Board and Cards. They have a video game version of this, so you can play this via the computer. I've been curious to play this, and a lot of people have asked, is it any good? But we have so many deck building games. Maybe we should save this for the deck building episode. This is another example where I went all in on the Kickstarter. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I think I'd really need someone to play this with if I were going to keep it. Great art, it's very colorful, etc.
Most legacy games are not deck building, right?
Correct. This is the only deck building legacy game that I know of. Oh, it's a tough one. What to do, Crystal? What to do? We'll swipe.
You can save it for the deck building episode.
Yeah, but with the deck building episode, I know them, so I'd have to open it, try it, and we're gonna swipe left. Oh my God! Someone's gonna give it a good home. Take care of it. Oh, won't you take me to Uptown? This is a free game that I think was given at a BGG con. Usually that's a bad sign. I hate saying that, but if they give a game away for free at BGG con, usually it means that they have too much in the warehouse. They need the space. And sometimes if you can buy games through Amazon, Amazon charges you for warehousing fees if the games aren't moving. So if you have games that are taking up too much shelf space, it costs money. And I'm looking at this art here. It's trying to go Art Deco, but not in a great way. I feel like I could do better graphic design. Offense to the graphic designer here. Swipe left. Prospectus, a game by Chad Krizan. And this is also from the company Mr. B Games. Truth of the matter is, I probably know more publishers than I know designers, because there's a lot of designers and there's not as many publishers. So that's something easy to say. But this is where they teamed up with Fun Again Games. Mr. B, owned by Sean Brown. He's a teacher, and his students would just call him Mr. B. Super nice guy. I love him to death. And this game looks really cute. But here's my problem with it. 90 plus minutes. When you have a game that looks this cute, you gotta remember your demographic. Kids that really would go for this cuteness, they may not go for that whole 90-minute plus time frame.
Or wives.
Or all right, well, there's the answer there. Boo! Amazonas by Stefan Dora. Mayfair Games and Cosmo Games apparently teamed up on this one. It has a lot of animals, but I have to tell you, the graphic design that I see in most games from Mayfair Games, really lacking, to the point where I feel that if I lost my job, I could get one doing some at least box layout. This does do a good job for retailers as it lays out what the board will probably look like while you're playing. So you can explain, oh, well, you gotta move here and then you're gonna play these cards and this is the chits when you upgrade to a hotel, whatever. Obviously, I've never played this game. But the art too, like, that is not a very good Jaguar in my opinion. And I think for this game to really shine, I hate to say it, it would really have to be beautiful. I'm also having a hard time finding the player count and the time frame on it, and that is a big no. Oh, here it is. It's on the side right there, and it says 50 minutes. 50 minutes is so specific. Usually round up from like 30, 45, 60, but 50. It's not 45. It's 50 minutes. 50 minutes that I will always have because I'm not playing it.
Oh, welcome to Number Please. Number Please is a fast-paced math game for all ages. You've been missing out on math? Well, here's Number Please. This is the Princess Bride Miracle Pill. I remember this in Kickstarter. They came out with a whole bunch of different Princess Bride games. They got the Princess Bride license and they thought, you know what we need to do? We need to crank out as many Princess Bride themed games as possible. So what they did is they got good designers and said, if you have any games that you can just tack on the Princess Bride theme or maybe create from scratch, if you're a Princess Bride fan, see if you can do it. This is a game by Philip Dewberry. Great designer, super nice guy. I've interacted with him a lot, had great experiences. I'm totally curious about it. It's a straight up card game. I'm just going to swipe left. I'm going to swipe left because Philip Dewberry, I think you can get more fans and also make money for charity. So someone buy this, support Philip Dewberry, and have fun. Whew. Another designer that I love, Peter C. Hayward, Bluebeard. He has this great company, Jelly Bean Games. I'm kind of jealous because it's such a cute company logo. And he has really cute games. Even if they're for adults, they're still really cute. And this is this Treasure Hunter series, and we're probably going to see a couple of these games. Treasure Hunter is kind of a game mechanic, and so you can kind of combine, if I remember correctly, the different games from Treasure Hunter games together. So this is Ninjutsu. He has a pirate-themed one. He has a zombie-themed one, and you can kind of combine them. So it's kind of going for this Munchkin-type feel where you can combine different themes into one game. And it's a very simple, light card game. But I think it's too light for us. I mean, maybe we could get our nieces and nephews, but they're growing up pretty quickly. I don't know. What do you think? Is this something that you want to play?
When you said light, that was kind of appealing, actually. I like the artwork, but...
Oh, it's super cute artwork.
Light as in boring, I guess, versus light as in just really easy.
It's 10 minutes. Do we keep this? Yeah, maybe we do. Maybe we just keep it, and then we combine for space all of the versions into one box, and then we'll see if our niece Alexis likes it, and if it's simple enough. Because the age range for this is ages 8+, and lo and behold, our niece is 8 years of age. Maybe she'll love it. Because you definitely need that art in order to keep their attention too. Let's swipe right then. Here's the game, Brains! It's the zombie version of what we just showed. It's one of the Treasure Hunter games. And I apologize. It's not just Peter C. Hayward, it's also Kelly Joe. So this also came with expansion cards right here, or a promo pack, because I back them on Kickstarter. So I like when they do that. So it's nice and convenient. It's all together but separate, so you know you're getting two things. We got to combine this with Ninjutsu. We're still in the Isaac pile. Holy crap, we got too many of these. Here's Yahtzee. Yahtzee, pretty easy one because last episode I already showed you that I bought Yahtzee in the bookshelf edition. So this is a swipe left. Welcome to Charty Party, the game of absurdly funny charts. This is kind of like Cards Against Humanity, where you have the white cards and the black cards and you combine them and it has that judge mechanic, which one works the best. But instead of just simply having sayings and expressions and quips, there's an actual chart that's not labeled. It's just slightly labeled. For instance, this example shows you 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. and there's time in between, and then the chart goes up and a little bit down. The ideal thickness of a burrito through time. Loneliness. Do you get lonelier throughout these hours? Number of dudes at your mom's house. Does that increase at 11 p.m. and then slightly drop off at 4 a.m.? That one's obviously the winner. All right, swipe left. New York! It's the special edition based on the award-winning Alhambra. Now, for me, I do like Queen games, solid company. They have solid products. But building things isn't really a great way to win my heart over. I think I played this back in the day, but the fact that I can't remember it is evidence that I should swipe left. Ooh, man, deluxe version is heavy. Shahrazad. I am a sucker for fairy tales. And if you don't know Shahrazad, then you don't know 1000 Arabian Nights. Tales from Arabian Nights, also known as Shahrazad, is one of the characters from the story. I think Shahrazad, if memory's striking me correctly, is the actual main character of the story, because the idea was that this Sultan, I guess, king would just kill his wives after so long. And so to prolong her life, she would tell him a story with a cliffhanger every night. And he's like, well, what's the cliffhanger? How does it end? You'll have to find out tomorrow. Her life was extended for 1,000 nights because she told 1,000 different stories in order to keep herself alive. And that's the premise of Arabian Nights. Did you already know that, Crystal? Did I patronize you?
I remembered that story, that she's pretty badass. Did she die after 1,000 nights then?
No, he was in love with her. That gave him enough time. So, plot spoiler, damn it.
Ooh.
Oops.
Takes 1,000 nights to fall in love, apparently.
There you go. Yeah, so this contains 22 story tiles. It's a beautiful game. I like the small box that it's in. I have no idea what it's like. Shahrazad, here's the back. Must tell her tale to survive the night, but maybe you can help. Working together or alone, you must tell the best story you can in just 22 tiles. Oh, so this is a storytelling game where you place tiles and you try to get it together. There's a lot of storytelling games, including one I'm designing. You're smiling, though. So you're thinking I should swipe right is what am I reading that?
I'm kind of torn, because I think it sounds pretty cool.
Pandemic. This is a classic game by Matt Leacock. Have I played Pandemic before? Of course I have. It's one of these games I got because it seems like every house should have one, because inevitably people want to play a cooperative game. It's one of the classic cooperative games. Cooperative games are worth their weight in gold because they leave everyone usually feeling better about themselves and their relationships afterwards.
I love a cooperative game.
Good cooperative games, great. But you know what the blasphemy of this is? I think we have better cooperative games than Pandemic. And since I always play it with other people, if someone's like, you don't have Pandemic? I can say, I used to watch this YouTube series, and if you really want to play it, go to my friend's house. Here's the other thing about Pandemic. We're living it.
I know, I was going to add, pandemics are so unrelatable.
Here is Exit the Game, specifically the Abandoned Cabin. Now this game was given to me for my birthday, I think. Did you give this to me?
Or Valentine's Day, something.
Something like that. Because we like playing these games, and we play these games with my father. And the funny thing is, I think these are great games that you open up, you play them, and then you give them away. But I realize if you wait long enough, you forget all the solutions, and you can play it again. For all the other games besides Exit, because Exit, you usually end up destroying the box or something. There's one version where one of the clues is like taped to the inside of the cover, so you have to like rip open the cover. I'm looking forward to playing this. We're definitely going to play this at some point. Swipe right. Saint Malo. It's a roll and write. It's a roll and write game by Ravensburger, and I love me some Ravensburger. And I didn't even know that I owned any roll and write games, because basically roll and write really started getting popular right as I ran out of steam with Kickstarter and Pandemic started. So I almost want to try this because it's a roll and write. Although the theme, I already said building stuff is just not my thing. Roll the dice and build your city. Although Dominion is nothing but building theme-wise. You're supposed to build a whole community. But I don't know. I mean, this box is a snooze fest for me. Just like, oh god, it looks like it's so heavy and boring.
They even look stressed.
Yeah, even these guys aren't having fun. It's like, I don't know about these taxes. He's like, could you just pay me already? I don't know why I'm giving him that accent. Just give me the money, little man. Yeah, wee man. Nope, because right here you've overcharged me for the crates. You never said that I had to pay for the boxes they came in. And right there it's like, oh my god. Is that what we're going to experience while playing this? I don't think so. So I think this is something where the theme probably won't do the game justice. Do you want to play roll and write or not, Crystal? Do you know what a roll and write even is?
No.
You roll dice and you write stuff down, so it's different every time. It's that easy. It's roll and write.
Huh.
Yeah, easy to learn and fun to play. Okay, if it's easy to learn and it's fun to play, let's give it a chance.
Okay.
Since I don't own any other roll and write, let me know what the best roll and write game is in the comments. Guide my hands, please. Carmarace Stage 1. Alright, so Carmarace is from the Bored to Death Games. They do a review site, but they decided they're going to dabble into publishing. Here's a big issue I have. Racing games. Racing board games. It's kind of like tower defense board games because you need that live action in order to really be immersed. It should be really fast. Plus, when it comes to racing games, not much can beat Formula 2 because that's like the classic one. But Carmarace, Hitchhike Your Way to Victory, I don't know. There's a lot of, I'm not a fan of the art. Looks ugly. Maybe it's a great game. I'll let someone else find out. As we're going through these, I realize the beauty of the game really does matter. And I think that goes into the sentimentality and the playability of a game. Because if the game's ugly and you don't really want to touch it, that hurts its playability. But also if it's really pretty, you can have a good time just enjoying the art of the game. Like Last Banquet has gorgeous art, has that fantasy flight quality of
Those
artwork.
jewel tones. Yeah, I was drawn to it right away.
So Last Banquet, I got this because I'm a big sucker for hidden rule games. You, however, hate them. You don't like hidden rule games, but Two Rooms and a Boom, obviously Impartial, Werewolf, all these things. And the Last Banquet is supposed to be chaos. And what I've heard is not good things about Last Banquet. It's basically you all sit around a dinner table and you have different hidden agendas, but I think they switch, you pass things around. I'd be willing to try it, but when's the next time we're going to be sitting around a table with so many players? Because you look at the player count, it's 6 to 25 players.
I like hidden roll better when it's equal balance, like just as many people are on a team instead of just one person.
Like Two Rooms and a Boom is more of a
Yes.
cooperative game than it is a hidden roll game, and you've said that before, and I appreciate that. I don't know if we'll ever crack this out. Are we ever going to have 25 people over
Who want to play a game.
who want to play a game, Last Banquet? Our friend Michelle said it's not good. So, man, that's tough. This will probably just collect dust, as beautiful as it looks, forever. Because if it's 6 to 25, you probably want to get that 25 player experience. So let's say goodbye. The 3 Laws of Robotics by my friend Ben Canellis, also known as Sir Weenie. The 3 Laws of Robotics, I can't say enough good things about. This is basically a hidden rule game, but wait, Crystal, don't hate it right away. You don't know who you are. It has that Indian poker mechanism. And you could be an android, a robot, or I forget what the other one is. And based upon what you are, changes what you're allowed to do and say. And there's different event cards that show up. The only reason that this is still in its shrink wrap is it's been that long since I've gotten to hang out with Sir Weenie, because I need him to sign this ding dang thing, because I'm keeping this forever, not just because he's my friend, because it's a solid game that's going to hit the table again and again. Really good choice, Floodgate Games. The Big Idea, the game of crazy inventions. Still in its shrink wrap. This is another judge mechanic game, I believe. I've seen games like this a lot, where you just get random cards, you put them together, and then you try to sell them to someone. Mad Scientist University is another one of these games. In fact, Mad Scientist University, I probably likely play more than this, although this has better art.
I like that it's small, too. Some games like that seem...
Well, Mad Scientist University is right there. Why don't you hand it to me? See it right there? There it is. Mad Scientist University is also small, but it's like the same idea where you have basic blueprints. But in this one, you're trying to figure out how do you best take over the world. So you're trying to be evil. It's like that Mad Scientist fair, so I kind of like that theme.
Yeah.
Big Idea. You've just invented the liquid toupee. You know what? There's also the game Pitch Deck. And Pitch Deck has a really cool scoring mechanism, which levels it up. So I would say for each of these, in fact, now that this is off the shelf, why don't we just say swipe left for both of these things, because Pitch Deck beats them. So a big thing for me in my video games, in art, in my board games, if I see art that I think I can do better, and I'm not a professional artist, it's a big turnoff. And when I see this with big, bold, black stroke lines and this character and really bad shading, I think, man, I could do better than that. Maybe it's a wonderful game, but it's so hideous I don't even want to touch it. Sorry, burger joint. And finally, the last one for Isaac. I don't know what his count is at. Maybe he won for the most. Maybe he won for most valuable. But this is going to round it out for Isaac. And this is Cryptid. I bought this because I played it once. I played it once with my good friend, Alex Haig, who's the owner of the company with his friend that makes monikers and pitch deck, which we just mentioned before. But I played it with him and we had a great time. Cryptid is very tacked on theme-wise, but it's a process of elimination, deduction, just like Clue. And I thought, man, if you like Clue, you'll really like Cryptid. I thought it was very clean, but I've heard other people really not like this. But for me, I like it. But I would ask you, Crystal, I'd probably play it with you if this was going to hit the table again. If our family came into town and they wanted to play something that was like the next level of Clue, not that it's more difficult necessarily than Clue. In fact, I think it's maybe even a little bit cleaner than Clue. But would you want to play it?
Yeah, I'm getting a positive vibe. I really like the look of it.
The art's awesome.
Yeah.
The theme is you're hunting, oh my goodness, what are they called? Are they called cryptids? The cryptozoologists? Maybe it is. Cryptocurrency? Yeah, the little like Loch Ness Monster, Sasquatch, Jersey Devil, all of those. I thought they were called something else. But anyway, man, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments on this video like, you idiot, you don't remember. Oh, here it is, Cryptid. A creature whose existence is disputed or unsubstantiated. Oh, it is Cryptid. Yeah, let's swipe right then.
So there we have it, the end of the first part of a 3-part episode of the Shelf of Shame. Woo! And man, we're just under an hour here. How did Isaac do? Do you think he got the most valuable pile? You're gonna have to let me know because I don't want to have to go through adding up the value of each of these games. I will let you know who won the amount of games. But before we can do that, we also have to look at Lindsey Rode's episode, which is next time. And then finally, episode 3 will be Crystal's episode. All of this and more coming up in Too Many Games in a Room.